Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to show how to make a bear bead. Um, as always, you can reach me, the best way to reach me is through Jean's Beads on Facebook, and that's my little avatar, the red, white, and blue beads in the shape of a heart. I also have my website with links, I believe, to my Facebook, but that's the best way to get a hold of me. So I'm going to make this cute little panda bear, but the shape, it doesn't have to be a panda bear. It could be any other kind of bear. You can even change the ears and such to make a dog or a cat. So it's just a general shape. The first thing I'm doing here is I had a bunch of shorts of white. Oh, and that piece flew right into the palm of my hand, and I got a nice burn there. But I was putting my shorts together, and so this is a way for you to save on your glass and actually keep using all of your glass. And so I'm just showing a couple quickie ways to use them so you don't waste glass, basically. And so I have that rod there, which is three different shorts of white glass that I all put together. And then another way that you can use up the remainder of your short pieces of glass. And see, I'm holding this really short piece kind of close to the flame, just barely out of burning range. But I heat my mandrel, and I'm going to need a lot of glass for the body of this bear, so I really don't care which way it goes, so I can just flop that piece of glass right on there and just melt it in. I'm really not concerned because I'm going to make this a big, fat, wide bead. I'm not really concerned about the bead ends in this little section here because I'm going to fix the ends when I have a big mass of glass. So I could just sit there and I can add little shorts of glass. And I have this video sped up, by the way, so you don't have to sit there and watch me melting all this. But here's another piece that I just grabbed with my tweezers. And I'm just going to plop that right on with the rest. Let it fold right over there and just build up that glass. And on the end of this piece, it was actually the cut end, so I want to make sure I get off the little scuzz that's on the end from the cutting tools. So I just pulled that piece off, and then I'll just melt the rest in. But it was just a little quickie of how to use up some of your shorts and nubs of glass. You can actually, like I did previously, pick up little pieces of glass that flew off and just throw them onto your bead. But now I'm going to slow back down to normal speed right here. And this is going to be basically the body of my panda bear. And I haven't made a panda in quite a while. And I didn't have a picture of a panda right next to me. So I was just playing this by ear, and I don't really think I got it totally perfect. I think some people make much better pandas than me. They probably make them more often. I don't make panda bears that often. But just an FYI, it might not come out totally perfect, but oh well. This will just show you basic shaping. So I need to add black for this panda bear because panda bears are black and white. If it was a regular bear, I can make it brown, or I can make a blue bear, I can make a yellow bear, it doesn't matter, whatever color you want. So I'm just going to add some black to the bottom. This is towards my hand is going to be the bottom of the bear. And then I'll add another little stripe at the front, like at the neckline, which is going to be the top of the bear. So I'm just going to melt this in here. And like I said, you can, just make this general shape with a body and a head for any type of animal. It doesn't have to be a bear. It could be a cat or a dog or a mouse. This is just a general head and body shape that's totally round. I know some people flatten their beads, and so you have more of a flattened oval. So you could do that too. But I'm just making this a full 3D round type bead, and it's a fairly large bead too. So I'm just adding like a little my black broke there, so I'm just trying to add a little neckline of black, and I melt that down towards the other side of the mandrel. I'm putting a little more to try to even it out because there were some parts that were thinner. And so I'm just trying to taper that down a little bit to make more of a little neckline. I'm holding it upright so I can make it taper down. So I'm making more of a fat cone shape. And I'm not really worried about that black end there because I'm going to add the head. So right now I think the black spread out a little too much. So I'm adding a couple stripings of white over the edges of black to actually thin down the black a little bit. I didn't know the black was going to bleed so much. And now I'm adding the head glass. So panda bears have kind of big heads, so I'm going to try to make this head fairly large on top of the body. And so I'm just using those shorts that I melted all together into one long rod, just using them up, and just keep adding the glass until you have the size head you're looking for. I like fairly fat heads on pretty much anything. So I just keep adding there, and I think I have enough. And I'm going to melt in that body white that I added. Try to cover up some of the overpowering black there. And then I'm going to shape it back down into my really short, stubby, tapered cone shape body there. And then I flatten it a little more on the bottom. So the bottom, it's like the bear is sitting, and so it would be where his butt would be, so he would be heavier and fatter on the bottom of the bead. And so that's kind of like the way I'm making it, this bear. And now I'm just I'm out of screen there, but I'm holding it upside down to make sure I have a nice tapered hole at the top of the head, so it looks nice. And so now I'm going to add like the little feet. So I just put 2 big chunky dots for the feet, and he'll be just like he's sitting down and his feet are sticking out. So you could just flatten them with a tool. Flatten them up like they have paws. And you can even put like little dots. Like I could have put little white dots, like 3 little white dots for paw marks on there, but I didn't do that. So, and then for the arms, I just like swipe them down. As you see how I did that there, I just heat up glass and swipe to make like little arms. And then I add little dots for hands, and I smush those down with a little tool. Just smush them down so they represent the hands of the bear. And then I melt in the shoulders. I make sure the shoulders of the arms are melted down really well. You want to make sure these are attached and they don't pop off. So you got to get that melting in there. And then I'm just shaping them, making them a little more curvy, a little more rounded. And now I'm going to, I believe I'm going to put, what am I going to put? Oh, I'm going to put a nose. So I'm heating the face right there where I'm going to put the nose. And then I'm going to put just a big dot of white for a nose. And I believe towards the end of this video that when I was doing the eyes, I think the nose melted in a little bit. And so I tried to fix the nose and make it bigger again. But then I think I made it too big. So, yeah, I probably should have done the nose as one of the last things. But, so I'm putting a couple of big dollops of black for ears. And then I just try to make sure it's about the same amount of glass on each one. I think one is a little bit smaller, maybe. Yeah. So I try to get about the same amount of glass. And then I'm just going to take my tweezers and I'm going to flatten it into a little round ear. Now this could be a mouse ear. It doesn't have to be a bear ear. If I wanted to make a cat, I would heat that ear again and then pull it off with my rod to make it pointy. You know, pull it upward, up and out. If it was a dog, I would have flattened it like sideways, in the opposite direction, and then maybe folded it down. Could do that. So there's a variety of animals you can get with this. Now for the eyes, see, I'm painting like little lines that are on an angle going upward to the eyes. And what I do here is I melt those in a little bit first. They don't have to be fully melted in, but I melt them in quite a bit, and then I add little dots of glass at the top, so it gets wider at the top where the actual panda eyes are placed, where they would go. And then I put a nose on, which was probably premature because I think I melted the nose in. But anyways, so that's like the eye part, and you can actually leave it like that. I've known people who've actually just left the eye part of panda bears just black like that, and didn't go any further with the eyes. But I'm actually going to put little googly eyes in there, so I'm going to put white dots and then black dots again for pupils. So I'm going to do that on this bear. And then I have to put a little tail. They have a little tail, right? And I wasn't sure really if it was supposed to be black or supposed to be white, but I just put a little white tail, so I'm not sure on that one. But you could put a black tail if you want, but I think they have a little stub of a tail that's barely there. But so I'm going to put my little Google eyes inside the black part. So right on top of the fat part of the black, I'll put little dots of white. And these are kind of difficult. If you need to turn down your torch to set them right, do that. And see, I'm moving that because it was a little too close to the edge of the black. So I just heated it there and took my razor blade and pushed it over. So do not underestimate your tools. You can actually fix a dot that you put on a little crooked. So now I'm going to put on little tiny pupils inside the white. Then I'm going to melt those in. And I thought I was pretty much done with the bear right here. But this is when I realize, well, I'm trying to fix the taper of the black eye part of the bear and make it come out a little bit more. So I'm pulling the glass around it to make it move. I should probably do a separate video on that. But anyway, so then I realized that my nose got kind of squished down, got kind of flattened, see? And so I'm going to add some more glass to it. And since I'm adding quite a bit of white, I just left that black nose right on there. I just put it right over the top. So I'm melting that down again, and then I realize, oh, I think that's a little too much white. And I'm looking at it going, this doesn't look right. But anyways, so I'm gonna pull some white off, I believe. Maybe not yet. See, I thought it was sticking out too much. I'm like, that's not right. So I pull that off. See, you can always correct mistakes. And now I'm going to smush it. I'm going to actually make a little mouth line. And all you do is put an upside down V. So you dent and dent on an angle and make a little V. And then I smush the nose in to make it more of a triangular shape. And this is how I usually make bears, not necessarily pandas, but... And then I add the little black nose to the top. And let's see if I can zoom in on this. See, that looks more like a panda bear. Maybe not exactly, but hopefully it's pretty good. Thanks for watching.